Okay, 90 Day Fiancé. Today I'm going to focus in on Asuelu, who's 23 years old from Samoa, and Kalani, who's 30 years old. Now you see there's a 7-year difference. Kalani has lived pretty much a religious, sheltered life, protected by her father, who's gun-ho on her being happy. Can't blame him for that, but he doesn't have to be rude. He's very direct, very direct. He's already insulted Ausella at the first dinner that they have. Now, Kalani assumes too much from Ausella without communicating. He was not born or raised here in America. He does not know the laws. It would have been nice if she had told him some things about raising a baby. Even have him Google it. She could read it to him if he can't read in English. He should have known before he even got in the car not to take the baby out of the car while the car is running. I don't think he would endanger his son's life deliberately. He's just trial and error, doing his best. But it would be nice if she would communicate with him. She's always communicating with her sister and her brother, and they're just all up in the soup or the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. But she's not talking to Ausella. She says it's because he shuts down on her, and you can't blame him. He does have feelings. All right. So, and his sister, she's doing constant evaluations as well as Kalani. She's doing constant evaluations of this guy, this young guy, without teaching him anything or telling him the rules that he needs to abide by in America. He just doesn't know anything. Like I said, I doubt seriously if he could even read English. So, but I'm thinking that the mere fact that he's still there, that he does love Kalani. Do you think that that's his reason for staying, or is it for the child, his son? That's some family to move in. They have strict guidelines as to who you should be, what you should be doing, what you should know. And they consider him immature, which is really not fair. He's as mature as the average, well, a lot of 23-year-old men who've never had children before. So this is a big step for her. He tried to show her his love by dancing for her at the airport. She got insulted with that. Very, very embarrassed. Well, I can understand. She's a very reserved person. But from day one of his arrival at that airport, she's been evaluating him without instruction from her. She talks to her brother and her sister more than she talks to Ausella. Now that sister, she's a package. She is a case. They go out to dinner, and I don't know if you've seen the episode where her eyes are all over the place. I mean, this child, she's in attack mode with those eyes. They're just staring at him and staring at her, back and forth, looking for a flaw, just so that she could tell her sister, see, I told you so. I told you he wasn't the right guy. Well, it's none of her business, because should they get married, I don't think they'll be living with her. And should she marry someone else with her evaluations, I don't think she'll be living with Kalani and Ausella. So she needs to kind of back off and stop refereeing the relationship. The question now is Kalani standing up or defending Ausella in any form or fashion? It just seems she's just always disappointed. She talks about the fact she's always disappointed. Well, if you don't, I wonder if she's going to teach the child. She's not teaching her husband anything about the American way. Will she teach the child? Because, like I said, she grew up in a very tight-knit, strict family, religious family, and they have very, very strict guidelines to live by. I'm surprised she even had a child out of wedlock. In fact, I'm even surprised that she was allowed to vacation overseas. So I think at this point, I know Asuella's only 23, but it's time for him to man up and stand up to Kalani. If you agree, let me know. He needs to stand up to her, let him know what he expects from her instead of her looking at him, expecting this, that, and the other from him and constantly evaluating him. He needs to stand up to her and let her know what he expects from her. Now, his brother was very diplomatic, I'll say, when he told him not to put the child around his neck or carry him on his head. He's just too young. He didn't have enough control of his head. But Ausella didn't know that. So like I said, if she really wants this man, I mean, she may just be having him in her life because he's the father of her child. But if she really wants this man, she needs to sit down with him and Google the stages of a child's development. And had she done that, he would have known not to carry the child that way. Hold him so you can support his head. Hold him in a way, because babies know. They may not be able to talk, but they know when they're secure, being securely held by another person. And to yell at her, she said she was doing 80 on the expressway. What in the world are you doing 80 miles an hour and you have a baby in the car? So who's immature? Who's immature there? But to just yell at him because he's trying to take the baby because he takes the baby out of the car seat and tries to comfort the baby. That is not the way for her to teach him that you're not supposed to take the baby out of the car when the car is rolling. And I don't know where she needs to get. She needs to get a few lessons too on the fact that she should not be doing 80 on the expressway. Now, the only understanding person, it appears, in this family is her mother. Her mother is understanding, I'm thinking, because she's married to a man that's very rigid and strict. And she understands what this young man is going to be going through, the test that he's going to have to pass. Test that he's going to have to pass? What about Kalani? Doesn't she need to pass his test? Doesn't he have a test? Well, it's just a matter of time that either this young man is going to go back to Samoa or he's going to stand up to Kalani. Well, it's at that point that they'll probably get a little closer. Let me know what you think, and do have a blessed day.